podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Welcome to No Question About That. We are talking about Manchester United's 18th league defeat of the season. Wonderful stuff. I'm Ed with Dharnish, head in his hands already. How's it going?
I'm laughing because I can't. Have you seen Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that final scene where Jesse Pinkman is driving away and he's crying and laughing? That's how I feel.
I know.
Because we're one game away from the season ending, which is terrific. Terrific news.
No, two.
I mean, sure, but like we're one league game away from the league season ending, right? So
yeah,
everybody out there, tomorrow go have a drink somewhere because this season is almost over. Brush it under the carpet. It barely existed.
Yeah.
Think about like the worst few months or worst few years of your life or whatever. Brush it under the carpet. Keep going after that. 18 did. I think like. When you deep how bad things are is when the statistics come rolling at you. It used to be, how do we get back up there? How do we keep looking up? How do we get up there? And now it's literally, maybe we should have appreciated being up there a few times more so than where we are now. I get that like this club has, it demands standards and it's shocking to be this low and it's shocking to be this bad, but it's just been coming for this amount of time, and the league has caught up with Man United. The league will find you out. The league will catch you out, especially in 2025 when there's too much money involved in something. You will get found out. Football in Premier League, that's what it is now. They're not football teams first. They are not football teams first. They're companies first. They're companies first, sure. And they masquerade as football teams. But when there's this amount of money involved in other teams, they are going to be a lot smarter than Man United. They have smarter managers. Yeah. They have smarter structures.
The depth is incredible.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, yeah. So it's not a surprise that 16th and 17th or 15th and 16th, whatever it is, in the Premier League are in the Europa League final. I mean, that's not a shock, really, because the bottom team in the Premier League will take home about £130 million in broadcast revenue, right? That is fourth place in La Liga, won't get that. So it's not really a surprise that the depth is incredible. And you've got Chelsea, a Chelsea team that's had £1 billion spent on it over the last couple of years. But for an hour, United weren't horrendous, right? The last 20 was really, really bad. I was thinking when you were saying we're in the gutter and we want to be in the stars, there's that old Oscar Wilde quote, isn't there? When you're on your back in the gutter, at least you're looking at the stars, right? And
yeah.
We're trying to get there. We're just a very fucking long way away from it.
I mean, it was a post Casemiro collapse. I think definitely as soon as Casemiro came off, things collapsed. But it wasn't really a game where I think either team deserved to lose. Really, if for 60, 70 minutes, United held the ball. They moved it around here and there. The same problems existed. The back three get the ball. They're pressed sometimes by Chelsea's wingers or attacks. Sometimes I was seeing there was nice angles. Bruno would find Dogu wide quite a few times in the first half, sometimes in the second. Doesn't matter because, unfortunately, it seems like Dogu can't put in a good ball recently. Sometimes there'd be nice space out wide for Mazraoui. Sometimes they'd work it nicely in the middle of the park. The problem arrives again. It's absolutely infuriating to see just how bad this team is in the final third. It's really, really poor. It's the final pass is missing, or the final decision is missing, or the final ball is missing. Unless you're Bruno Fernandes, it won't. There's no point in you getting into the box because you won't reach it.
Yeah.
It was Fernandes who set up the disallowed goal from Maguire, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, it was. No, you're right.
It was a brilliant cross,
finish as well.
Brilliant finish.
Yeah.
It's the same thing again and again. And then the other thing I'm seeing as well is when the plan B is, okay, the other team is pressing the back three, They're pushing up against us. There's no out ball on the wing backs, and there's no out ball in the middle of the park. So you knock it long to our striker. And the amount of times this has happened now since Amorim has been in leads me to think it has to be on purpose. It's by design. Otherwise, like, you can't. Football is like, I see things week in, week out. That's what football teams are trying to do. The other team is trying to stop them from doing it. The problem is there is a striker who can't hold the ball up. He just can't do it because he's A, soft, or tussles with the defender, and the defender just eats him alive each time.
Yeah.
Or B, the other thing that's happening is on the floor when they finally get it, and Højlund drops deep, there's a bad touch from him, and then there's a turnover. And he's also really poor at buying fouls. Really, really poor at buying fouls. He doesn't sell them correctly. He always goes over. And I don't want to pile on him, but we just need more from you. You're the only recognised Man United striker right now. You're fine. You're the youngest, and this was a team that used to have Andy Coles and Dwight Yorks and Van Nistelrooys and Cantonas, but we're not asking for too much. I don't think. It's a team in the bottom half. Go and be a hold up striker. Go and be a Wout Weghorst. There's just
he's none of these things. It's just none of these things, and I don't want to pile on necessarily, but.
No, but we're just calling it like it is now. Like, we are calling it like it is. That was a Hall of Shame performance, and unfortunately, that's if we're going to pile on, we're just piling misery on him because you have played poorly, you have played badly. We're just explaining why. We're just explaining the ramifications of why it is poor.
Yes,
there was an instance where he got the ball. They finally worked it well because Diallo's in the side, and sometimes the wing backs and the wingers who are meant to come inside, either the left or the right 10 is meant to drop deep, and you're meant to find him. He's meant to link with a wing back, dragging another fullback out. They finally worked that space, knocked it to Højlund on the edge of the penalty area. The only thing you could have done there, is empty the clip, pull the trigger, shoot. Even if it's blocked, fine, shoot. But the kid is he's lacking so much confidence. He just passed it again. And I was like, this is just, it's really concerning because all we're thinking about before bed and when we wake up, Bilbao. I don't care. There are so many problems in life, whatever. It's all bookended by Bilbao. Everything is bookended by Bilbao. And all I was thinking throughout that thing is, Romero is going to eat this guy for dinner. He is going to eat him for dinner. He's going to push him and shove him about, give him a kick here and there. Højlund will complain to the referee, and we're just going to get no change out of those two centre-backs.
There are at least 10 players in the Manchester United squad that I'd rather play up front in that final than Rasmus Højlund. This is what I'm saying about the pylon, because every time I think about how to analyse him, it sounds like there's some sadistic agenda against him. It's just, he doesn't move, he can't hold the ball up, he doesn't shoot. He's got a poor first touch. He's not available for his teammates. He doesn't work enough. Like, there is not a single skill
That's so bad.
that you'd want from a number 9 that he's able to provide right now. Not a single one, right? So he's just a warm body. And to be honest, I'm not even sure I could guarantee that he's a warm body at the moment. Like, he's barely moving, right? So it's a waste of space in the team. So, like, Amorim seems very reluctant to try something different here, right? I mean, he obviously doesn't have any options other than a false 9, basically. That's the only other way of doing it. Or switching to, like, 2 up front to give him some support, which he won't do either. So, like, we're going to go into this final knowing that there will be no possible ball to get into him with the worst 2 defenders. Like, Van der Ven, I'm not sure he's fit, actually, but if Van der Ven's fit, then, ground coverage, he'll eat up the ground. Rasmus is not going to outpace him.
No.
And Romero, as you said, he's going to outmuscle him every single time, right? So what is it? He's just occupying space. But because they have no fear of him out-accelerating them, no fear of the ball sticking with him, and he's not going to drag them into the half spaces, like, it's going to be the easiest night for them when it comes to a number 9. So that's why I'd be deeply, deeply tempted to play any other player in there and give them something difficult to think about. Now, would that change the United system? Yeah, because he wants a focal point in there, doesn't he? He wants players to be able to play off that. I mean, we build up down in wide areas mostly, don't we?
Yeah.
Right? Rather than through the centre. But the central striker is there to finish off the chances and to play off in those circumstances. And we're just never going to do that unless by some bloody miracle, like Josh Xerxes gets fit. Like,
maybe
in the next 4 days. Yeah, maybe.
But has he
maybe
said,
like,
has he said he's pushing for the final? Or no injury news.
No, none. You just want to get him to knock on Dave Brailsford's door and ask for those EPO pouches, allegedly, to get him fixed up nice and quick. It's desperate. I mean, like, I look at the Spurs side, there's just nothing there to be worried about, really. I mean, given they've got so many injuries as well. They've got a whole bunch of their key players out. It's just like, how are we going to hurt them? I mean, apart from Harry's goal, which was
spectacular.
The tip of his toenail offside. I mean, it's it's nothing.
When your luck's against you, it's against you.
Yeah, and it's not like he badly timed his run. It was just the tip of his toenail.
It's a beautiful finish as well. But it doesn't. I think honestly, the biggest problem with this team is the attack. It didn't score enough goals under Ten Hag. Even in Ten Hag's best season, there was so many 1-0 wins, relying on the defense. Yeah. It didn't score goals the last season, regardless of all these 3 different types of tactics that he tried, and you're not good at either of them. And it's been a huge problem this season as well. It just doesn't fill me with much confidence going into that final, thinking of, okay, how can we hurt Spurs? But then again, it is Spurs, and they do leave stupid amounts of space in behind. But then you said, okay, nothing worries you about Tottenham's team. I looked at their squad today thinking, on paper, that squad is okay. I haven't seen a lot of their games this recently, but on paper, there's so many more decisions, so much more in depth that they have in attack than what we do. Our striker is literally Højlund or false 9. They can do Heung-min Son, Dom Solanke, Richarlison, Brennan Johnson. All of them, any of those players can play up front and have played up front in the past. It's just, I don't know where they're going to score. And then you think, okay, where did they score in the Europa League before? Against Lyon, against Sociedad. It was probably when they were pressed. It was probably when they were under the cosh, when they needed to do something, when they needed to go for a result, when they were under the pump and needed to go for goals, is the only time when they've created moments. But Amad Diallo is back for the final. It's a huge chink. It's a huge shot in the arm.
Yeah, and he has to start, doesn't he? Although the one thing with Spurs, I mean, we won't get away from Chelsea just yet, but the one thing with Spurs is that space kind of requires like runners ahead of the ball and with the ball. And so you'd be looking going, okay, how do you get Garnacho in the side, because he's the person who's going to carry the ball, and Amad and Bruno.
I think Garnacho probably has to start. I would say as well. Garnacho, Amad.
Yeah, all 3 of them have to start. Yeah, I mean it's a big question. I don't think there are any clues from today. I mean it was quite a strong side he put out. Casemiro played a lot of the game, didn't he? I mean, 70 minutes or so?
70-odd Casemiro minutes.
Yeah, it was quite a risk. I mean, Shaw played a lot of the game. Bruno, like a lot of the big players played. I mean, Bruno came off as well, but a lot of the big players played a lot of football. So he's gone in there and said, hey, we're gonna take the risk with the injuries. A couple of times Ahmad went down holding his ankle. I was like, oh God, no. That's when you thoughts and prayers.
So that's when you were like, oh my God, this game matters. Oh, this game matters. Please get up. Please get up.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Oh, Chelsea, when they scored, brought out their second song, because, you know, their first song, the one that they managed to sing most of the time, was Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. Wait for the second verse.
Go on.
Chelsea, Chelsea. Chelsea. Yeah, it's top stuff. Still better than North End Forever or whatever. North
London's Forever, yeah.
Oh, God.
You don't be singing that in the shower?
No, I won't be singing that in the shower.
It's really cringe. It's a really cringe song.
Oh,
what is
anyway,
what is North? Just before you get, what is in North London? Like, what is in North London?
I mean, there's a bunch of areas of London. I mean,
I'm not familiar with London. I don't like that city at all. This is no offense to anybody from London.
They are on the Islington Stoke Newington border. The Arsenal. Well, I guess they're closer to Islington.
But like,
now
why? It's not. I don't. A lot of people who sing that North London Forever song, they're probably not from there. So you know what? Anyway, another concern before the final. The goalkeeper. I know that goal was offside. Who shot it, by the way? Was it Malagusto? It wasn't Malagusto, I don't think.
I don't remember.
I think Gusto might have been on. Yeah, it's basically the one he spilt and he shouldn't have, and Enzo Fernandez missed. Just what are you doing? Like, it's not... Basically, our front... The players leading the front and the back of the line, the first players, have been a problem all season. They haven't really improved. They keep filling us with doubt. And we're sitting there shrugging our shoulders because there's nothing we can do but play them, right? We can't probably play... Maybe he could try Bayande. It'd be pretty out there if he tried to play Bayande, but even he doesn't look that good either. Onana's made mistake after mistake this season. Højlund has had stinker after stinker this season, and they're both probably going to play in the final. So you just got to kind of hope and pray. Although it was salient that Amrim said after the game, I think this game made me realize who I want to play in the final. So I wonder what that means.
Yeah. Do we call up Anthony and go, hey, do you want to come back for one last game? Yeah, he's got a Conference League final to
He's got
to
a Conference
play,
League final to contend with, yeah. But it's just... Imagine losing that final. Or losing...
Oh, God, it's going to be... Do you know what? If we lose the final, and I just can't even bear to think about it, that home game against Villa on the last day of the season where they're supposed to go take a lap of honour.
Are they?
Ruben's got to give it's tradition. You take a lap of honour and the manager gives...
That's what'll happen. Shame.
They should all strip naked and we can throw stuff at them.
I don't want to see any of those players naked. No thanks.
No?
Maybe Fernandez.
They might be impressive. So.
No. I don't want to see any of them naked.
It's... Oh, man. I'm deeply worried. I'm less worried about the defence. I mean, you saw today, even with a couple, and it may be a couple of players different for the final, although not wildly different.
I think if Euro comes back, probably that's one.
Yeah, that's it. If Euro's fit, it doesn't look like De Ligt will be fit, but Euro's touch and go. By the looks of it, he's been training, but training away from the main group. We're not giving up tons of chances. This was not, and it was the same against. Last week against West Ham as well when we lost, but it wasn't tons of chances, right? And it's like less than 1 XG for Chelsea today. They with £1 billion worth of players on the pitch or whatever it was, and it was pretty competitive until the changes. I'm not so worried about Spurs like creating tons of chances. Of course, there's always opportunities to score. It's the can we progress it out the back without falling to the high press, right? Not Chelsea didn't press super aggressively today. Spurs do, really, really aggressively to the point of fault, right? It's why they've lost so many games.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried about that. Can we play out of the thirds, and then where do we create chances from with 10 players on the pitch, right? And a statue up front. So it's yeah.
These Premier League games, I think a Europa League game arrives before it was arriving every fortnightly, and there was a big build up to it. And whenever there was games involved, it looked like Man United were a competent football team because they were playing sides who are less physical in the league. And when they arrived, there was some excitement and there was maybe light at the end of the tunnel, or there was something to look forward to. Now that there's a dismal Premier League result, followed by a dismal Premier League result, followed by a dismal Premier League result, it kind of brings you back down to reality and realize the job that this football team has to do and is ahead of us, regardless of what happens in Europa League. So it's like this thing of like, yeah, okay, maybe you can win Europa, maybe you can get in the Champions League, maybe you can get more money that is needed to buy new players, but every result brings you shuddering down to earth and makes you realize there is a long way to go. There shouldn't be a long way to go. There's so much. This club has so much going for them. I know it has a lot of problems, but I don't know how it got to this. Well, I do know how it got to this, but that's, I guess, for another podcast and all this. But it's just the Premier League results. I know that most of the games haven't mattered towards the bookend of this season, but each result it's not good. It's a net negative for everybody involved. It's a negative for the players because they lose confidence. It's a negative for the new manager because people are like, bloody hell, we're 17th. We're 17th. It makes you realize, okay, regardless of all the sort of necessary arguments that you can make for the stakes being against Amrim and the circumstances he's had to come into, and the fact that he hasn't really had training ground time, he hasn't really had a new player, he's had one new player, the fact that he's dealing with owners who are consistently ripping jobs away from people that work at the football club, they're not making it a good environment. Regardless of all of that, the team is still bad on the pitch and is still losing on the pitch. So, and then it leads up to this 90 minutes where anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Yep. I mean, I'm seriously worried for Amorim. Not that, like, without evidence, I still have some level of faith that he will be able to produce a good football side. He's done it before, very different circumstances with Sporting, one of the big three and all of that, right? So even if they were in a bad position when he took over, it was not as bad as this. A highly competitive Premier League where there are basically no free games. Right? The only free games we've got are literally the only teams we managed to beat since January are Leicester and Ipswich,
some of the
right?
worst teams in the league,
Yeah, exactly. So it is a difficult environment, and the cultural problems at United are well understood and much discussed. And add to that the kind of business shenanigans that's going on with cost cutting all over the place, and he's in a difficult position, and with a bunch of players that he knows that are leaving. Right, it could be 8, 9, 10, 11 players that leave this summer. It's likely to be that kind of level of departures, and you can name like 8 off the top of your head anyway. And so you come into that environment and it is super, super difficult. Motivation has to be difficult. And he's trying to implement a new system. And as has been well written about, including you and others, there are some challenges that it took him a long time to work out tactically. And he's made some adjustments as a result. And so there have been improvements, but the results haven't improved. And I really worry for him if we do lose that Europa final and we go into the summer not being able to make that many changes in the squad. How is he going to change the culture, right? So he'd go into the next season with zero bank of credit. Very difficult to change the culture if there isn't a big churn in players. Like, what is the thing that's going to spark a change if it hasn't done in the last 6 months? Yeah, lose 50% of his games in the first 3 months of the season, he's going to be gone, right? There's nothing he can do about it. He will be gone.
He could lose his job, Could lose his job.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like the dark scenario is like there, for sure, and it's the preeminent one, right? If you were a betting person, you'd put like odds on that being the case, right? It's very, very difficult for him to turn it around. And we need him to turn it around because otherwise the next guy comes in, all the same cultural problems there with all the same crap players. Another system's going to come in and we're just going to get another season that we have to write off and more pain, right? It's just so it has to work for him. That's why the Europa League is so important because it's 120 odd million on the table. It's the cultural reset. It's the new players in. It's like starting next season with some momentum and go, yeah, we can go, right? But for now, it's one bloody game in 4 days' time that somehow he's got to get this group of players 5 days'
calm
time.
down. I haven't booked my final train yet, mate.
You better do that. Quick here. They'll all be full of reds. You'll be on the roof, clinging on.
I mean, like those trains in India and Pakistan, but. Yeah, I mean, that we're contextualizing it here. But would you say, let me get your honest opinion on this, of the games that they've lost, the problem is even when they play all right or well, all right / well, they just end up losing anyway. Do you know what I think? You know what I mean? Like it was,
because they can't score goals and they can't sustain it.
It was fine today. It was all right. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. I think one point as well I'd like to make. It's salient that Mount, Casemiro / Bruno in midfield. They were winning a lot of duels against one of the best midfielders in the league, probably the best midfielder in the league all season.
And Caicedo,
and there was a lot of, when that changed, a lot of bite went off the game, and they stopped sort of, Casemiro and Bruno stopped interchanging it between each other and then getting to the final third. It just became kind of messy. So that trifecta of Mount, Casemiro and Fernandes, I know we're scraping the barrel here. Maybe it starts, and somehow you get Diallo and Garnacho in there as well.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right, because even like that first half was very competitive. United started the second half really well. I thought a lot of momentum was with United anyway. I mean, we're competitive, we're moving the ball, and then all the changes happened. And I can't remember a single moment really that United had in those last 15 minutes. Chelsea scored and they completely managed the game. We were unable to turn that around at all. Like the ridiculousness of them, like spending like about 8 minutes in the corner, like kicking it off United players. And there's nothing we could do to get back into it.
They were on the ref a lot. I feel like our players don't do that enough. Bruno's on the ref a lot. The other guys, talk to him, get in his ear, say something. The other players were swarming him.
Can't do that for next season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get another yellow card for it now, or from next season.
You will, yeah.
Okay, we'll do that against Villa when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but it's just, I think maybe start with Casemiro, Mount, because he's in good form. I feel like he's in good form. Fernandes, but then probably Diallo, and then you don't have Garnacho there, and I don't.
As I said, I mean, I think you're right on Mount. I'd like to see him in the side for the final.
Get him in the side somehow.
He's playing well. He's good trigger for the press. He's a smart player with the ball. He doesn't create enough. So I worry where he's higher than Bruno, but it doesn't seem to make a difference for Bruno. He can still create when he's deeper. But I'd be tempted, like, is there not one of them you could play at false 9 instead of Højlund, and then you can get all of them in the side? Garnacho, Ahmad, Mount, and Bruno.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see it. Yeah. Honestly, I'd like to see it. On the back of that Højlund performance. Yeah, I'd like to see it. Levi Colwill. I think the most notable thing Højlund did was take Levi Colwill's shirt off twice. Did you see that at the corner? He took his shirt off once, took Cole's shirt, and then took his shirt off him again, and then the corner happened. And then I think he came out with an Apple iWatch. What do they call it? Do they call it the iWatch?
An Apple Watch.
They don't call it the iWatch.
No.
They're missing a trick there. How do they not call it the iWatch?
iPhone, iMac. I know. I think it was a branding issue or something like that. Someone else had it.
Tim Cook, what are you doing? But no, anyway,
making a fuck ton of money is what he's doing.
Yeah, well, he could make more. Call it the iWatch. Everybody I know calls it the iWatch.
Yeah. Maybe they'd like to buy United. And no,
hopefully.
Do that.
They'll probably cock that up as well, don't worry. That'll go to shit as well. But no, in all seriousness, it's another game where it's like, okay, brush that game under the carpet. Doesn't really matter. Go for the Europa League. You can't stress it enough. There is so much riding on this game. There is maybe the plans in the next 6 months change just on the basis of this game. Maybe the perception of how much a manager is liked change on this game. And we've seen before that does have an effect on whether a manager stays or goes. It absolutely does. I'm sorry. Owners, I think there's been managerial changes, not just to Man United, in the past, where they've weighed up, okay, how much do the fans actually like him? I think that's been a contentious point of quarrel. But everything is on this game, and just the embarrassment of losing to Spursy The embarrassment of losing to Tottenham would kill me. It would kill everybody. It's crazy.
It can't happen. It can't happen.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Andy's going to get sacked.
Probably
way,
irrespective.
Right? 100%. He's gone. He's gone after this. Levy will have had enough of him. The Spurs fans have had enough of him. It's not worked out. You can't lose 21 games or 21 or 22. They lost again tonight to Villa. You can't have that and stay in a job at a club as big as Spurs. Couldn't do it at United either, but they can't fire two managers in succession. So he's gone. And so you'd have Spurs like resetting in the summer with Champions League football, with a brand new manager, with, as you say, a decent squad, which I don't think has the same level of problems as United's squad, despite the fact they've lost. So I think most of it is tactically on and she's taken this super high risk approach, which is mostly not paid off. So it can't happen. It can't happen. We have to beat them. If it takes like murdering all of their players, we have to beat them. Anything, which is why you look at solutions to the biggest problem, which is our lack of any kind of number 9, and go, there's got to be an alternate solution here. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Højlund will end up playing. And maybe so by some miracle.
I think so too, yeah.
One flies in off his ass, but it's really desperate times.
It is desperate times. It's desperate times. I'm just thinking of the final. Hopefully United can continue their modus operandi of, in the Europa League, all of a sudden there's space everywhere and we're picking the balls out to find players in those gaps. Because Tottenham do leave those gaps. They press too high and they commit too many players in the press. And when they build up with the ball in defence, they push too many players up in attack. And there's too much of there's too many gaps in between and behind their press when they press without the ball. And there's too many gaps. There's a big gap from their attack to their defence when they are trying to attack with the ball in possession. So if you can go there and utilise that and pick out the gaps within that, you should be trying to find spaces, trying to create chances. But it's a final. It's a final. Like, people are going to remember this for like the next 5 or 10 years, right? Like, if Ange wins, God forbid, if Ange wins, even if he leaves, he can always say, I was the guy that won Tottenham silverware. I was the guy that won Tottenham silverware. Mourinho didn't do it. Conte didn't do it. Pochettino didn't do it. I did it, mate. I did it, mate.
Mate.
Yeah, that's what he'd say.
Mate.
So I know it feels like two men going to therapy talking about one big event that's about to happen in their lives. That's what this feels like.
That's been this podcast for the last year, basically.
Yeah,
therapy. Well, you could even say last 10 years of therapizing our trauma over Manchester United. Yeah. All right. Well, that was another defeat. Chelsea are retaining their interest in the Champions League. That is actually it's reasonably interesting going into the last game, or some teams got 2 games.
Yeah, I think City have 2 games.
City have 2 games. Newcastle have 2 games. Arsenal have 2 games. Forest do, but I think they're out of it now. It's a couple of bad results recently. It's not. Marinakis will be on the pitch again, beating up Nuno.
Incredible.
Did you see their statement claiming that it was all to do with the admittedly horrible injury to
Awoniyi? Yeah. For the people that are interested in that, type in Nur 1. You do it as well on Google. It's fascinating. Just do that. Type in Nur 1 Evangelos Marinakis. I can't remember. I think it's the New Republic or a website that has it's one of the best articles I've ever read. It's one of the best pieces of writing I've ever read. It is fascinating. When you deep it and when you realize Evangelos Marinakis is who he is or has the legal problems he does, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's one of the biggest drug scandals in Europe ever. And he is his name's mentioned. Have you seen this?
I haven't read that piece, but yeah, I know the bones.
Read it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, well, that's the only interesting thing left in the Premier League, isn't it, for the last couple of games?
Yeah.
Certainly not for United. I mean, we've got the wake coming up if we don't beat Spurs, and the celebration if we do. There's not going to be an open top bus parade or any kind of that. You can't have that after this kind of season. So Jim's already cancelled the awards dinner, which I think, I have to say, that happened again last year, but I think it's deeply unfair on the women's team who've qualified for the Champions League, are in a cup final and could well win a second cup final in a row, third cup final in a row, and it could be a second. They are playing Chelsea, which
give them one. They don't get one?
Yeah, they should fucking have a celebration. Of course they should. Because
of course they should.
Just because the men's team has failed doesn't mean one of their other teams shouldn't celebrate what they've achieved. And it's a big achievement because, like, financially, they are probably the fourth best WSL team in terms of their budget. It's a little hard to say because not all the other teams break out the budgets, but and with a manager who's been much derided in Mark Skinner, and they've achieved a lot. They'll be in the Champions League. They could well have a trophy again, and it's a club that's like 7 or 8 years old, and that's a big achievement, and it's a shame for them that amid all this cost cutting, that they're not getting their celebration. And you know what? So Jim should pull out his fucking wallet.
Of course he should.
He's got a big one. Massive wallet, and he should pay for it himself.
Of course he should. Take it out the Anthony loan fee that we'll get.
Yeah. Well, there was no loan fee, but
we will get one. We'll get one when they want their Messiah back.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, but they beat Chelsea in that final. I wonder if there's a bonus for winning a final. There should be. Whoever negotiated it. All right, I haven't got anything more to say. I've run out of things.
Try and be calm. I looked at the Coppa Italia result last night, and it was like Bologna one. And you know when you get like a nervous pit in your stomach, you get like a nerve. I was like, God, that's going to be us, regardless of what happens, win or lose. That'll be us in a final. It's just, God, I need to do something in these next few days to keep my mind occupied. What do people do? Crossword puzzles? Do people do that still?
I mean, I don't know if you drink, Dharnish, but heavy drinking is normally what I go for.
Right.
Teetotaler. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It's terrible for your body, and it doesn't solve any problems. And you wake up the next morning feeling shit about things and depressed. So there you go.
Sounds a lot like Man United.
It's not far off. Yeah, all right. Well, everyone who's going out to Bilbao, we will have some preview material, so we'll do a tactical preview, I guess. When do you actually head out, Dharnish?
The Wednesday.
All right, we'll get a tactical preview in Monday, Tuesday. Probably do like a fan culture piece as well, and have a look at Spurs. And I may well talk to some Spurs fans or something like that. So look out for all of that. 2 games to go. I mean, chuck this season in the bloody bin
and move on with our lives.
Yeah, blow up the Death Star and start again. Thanks, everyone, for listening to us ramble on for the last half hour. Thanks, Dharnish.
Anytime. Thank you.